While some people genuinely don't understand why anyone would care about a game, millions of Americans build their entire week around it. Sundays are sacred. Jerseys come out, emotions rise, and when the game ends, moods change, relationships feel it, workdays feel it, life feels it. And here's the uncomfortable truth nobody really talks about. People who obsess over sports aren't weak-minded. They aren't childish. And they're definitely not just wasting time. According to neuroscience, their brains may actually be better tuned for the world we live in. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you're going to see sports-obsessed people very differently. And you might even realize why some of the most intense, driven, emotionally resilient people you know are the ones who never miss a game. Let's start with the obvious question. Why do some people care so much? Humans evolved in uncertainty. For most of our history, life was unpredictable, dangerous, and competitive. Survival depended on reading signals, anticipating outcomes, and emotionally responding to wins and losses quickly. Modern life removed most of that. Sports brought it back. When a sports-obsessed person watches a game, their brain doesn't see entertainment. It sees a simulation of risk, competition, uncertainty, stakes, and the brain responds accordingly. Dopamine spikes with anticipation. Cortisol sharpens focus. Oxytocin strengthens loyalty and bonding. This isn't accidental, it's biology. Neuroscientists have found that live sports activate the brain's reward system in a very specific way. Not like passive entertainment, not like scrolling social media, but more like real-time decision-making and survival forecasting. Every possession matters. Every mistake feels personal. Every win feels earned. That intensity is the point. And here's where it gets interesting. Research suggests that people who obsess over sports often have higher reward sensitivity. That means their brains react more strongly to uncertainty, competition, and outcome-based experiences. This same neurological trait shows up in entrepreneurs, traders, high-performing athletes, and people who thrive under pressure. In other words, sports obsession isn't random. It's an outlet, a controlled environment where an intense nervous system can release energy without real-world consequences. Now, let's talk about the thing critics love to mock. We won. Why do sports fans say that? Why do they emotionally merge themselves with a team they don't actually play for? Psychologists call this identity fusion. And despite how irrational it sounds, it's one of the most powerful mental stabilizers humans have. Shared identity reduces loneliness. It increases resilience during stress. It creates meaning when life feels fragmented. In a society where community is disappearing, sports fandom quietly replaces it. When someone says, "We won," they're not confused. They're connected. And connection matters more than logic. Here's another thing people get wrong. They say sports fans are too emotional. But emotionally intense doesn't mean emotionally weak. Sports-obsessed people experience loss regularly, publicly, repeatedly, and then they come back the next week. Hope, disappointment, frustration, recovery, over and over. That's emotional training. Studies on emotional regulation show that people who repeatedly process disappointment in low-risk environments develop stronger coping mechanisms. They rebound faster. They don't avoid loss. They expect it. Ironically, many sports fans handle real-life setbacks better because they've practiced losing without quitting. Now, let's address the addiction argument. Yes, sports trigger dopamine. Yes, unpredictability increases engagement. But here's what most people miss. Dopamine isn't about pleasure. It's about motivation. The same chemical released during a close game is released when someone pursues a goal, takes a risk, or pushes through resistance. Sports fans aren't addicted to watching. They're addicted to meaningful uncertainty. Their brains crave moments where outcomes aren't guaranteed. That's not dysfunction. That's drive. And this explains why many people who don't care about sports genuinely don't understand the appeal. They prefer control, predictability, direct effort to reward relationships. Sports fans accept chaos. They invest emotionally in outcomes they can't control because for them, uncertainty itself is stimulating. Neither approach is wrong, but they are fundamentally different ways of navigating life. Here's a line that might upset some people. For many sports-obsessed individuals, watching a game isn't escapism. It's rehearsal, a place where they practice loyalty, patience, hope, frustration, and resilience, all within a story that feels real. And that story matters. Humans are wired for narrative, heroes, underdogs, comebacks, dynasties, collapse. Sports deliver that in real time. No script, no guarantee, no safety net. That unpredictability is exactly why it feels alive. Now, this doesn't mean non-sports people are missing something. They just invest their emotional energy differently. They prefer environments where effort directly shapes outcome, where meaning is constructed, not observed, where control matters more than chance. Sports fans lean into chance. Non-sports people avoid it. And this is where misunderstanding happens. One side sees obsession, the other sees emptiness. But what's actually happening is two different psychological strategies for finding meaning. One through participation, one through observation, one through control, one through chaos. And here's the final point most people never consider. In an increasingly isolated, digital, predictable world, sports obsession is one of the last socially acceptable ways to feel deeply without apology, to care loudly, to lose publicly, to hope irrationally. That's not regression, that's resistance. So if you obsess over sports, you're not immature. You're not wasting your life. You're not avoiding reality. Your brain is wired for competition, narrative, and shared identity. And in a world that keeps trying to numb emotion, that obsession might be exactly what keeps you engaged. And if this resonated with you, you'll want to understand why highly competitive people experience stress, failure, and pressure completely differently, and how that wiring can become their greatest advantage. Watch that.